can decorate 4 cards with just one small piece of 6x6 paper. That's what I'm going to show you in today's video. You might have heard of one sheet wonders before. They're a great way of getting the most out of those pretty papers, and they make really quick cards with minimal stamping. Now there are a number of templates out there, full card size, 12x12, but this one is for a 6x6 piece. You can make a stash of cards very quickly for any occasion, especially at this time for Christmas. I've been making some Christmas ones. I'm going to show you those at the end. This one I'm using the hand pen paper. I'm going to be using the One Sheet Wonder cutting guide for the 6x6 paper. This was shared with us last weekend at our stamping get together online for South Pacific demos, and it was so fun to make them all together. I'm going to go through and cut out the paper, but I'll give you a link at the end of where you can download this template so you can go and make your own. So let's bring the trimmer in first with our piece of paper. I hope you can see that okay in the trimmer guide. So firstly we have, this is our cutting guide for our 6x6. Then we also have a cutting guide here for our card mats, which you want. A lot of templates don't actually give you the sizes for the card mats, so I think this is really helpful. I have already cut my card mats out. We'll get back to those in a moment, but let's get cutting. I particularly wanted you to show you how to cut your paper. So our first one, we're going to do 3.8 by 14.8. It also has the imperial, the inches on it, if you work in those. Each of those measurements will go through. So 3.8 by 14.8. You don't forget to trim off this little end bit to trim it down. That measure is 1.5 by 5 7/8. Keep your pieces all separate so you know which ones they are. We will bring this in again. We are cutting it at 7.6 by 7.6, which is 3 by 3. So we'll just cut that down to 7.6 here. This is our piece B. Now we're going to use these. The rest of this piece is going to be our piece D, 7.6 by 2.54 or 3 inch by 1 inch. So it's already cut at 7.6, so 2.5, which will be there, another 2.5, and it should be 2.5 there. Perfect. All right, so these are our pieces D. Keep them together. So then we have our last little strip, which is our C. This is 3.8 by 3.8, 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches. You're going to end up with 4 squares of those. So let's cut that down. 3.8 or 1.5. So you're having 4 squares of those. So keep all those together. Now we can move our paper trimmer out of the way now. So let's bring each of these sections in. And our 4 squares. We have our card mats here. So put them together. We're going to have our piece A, which will be matted on there. I'm using Blushing Bride for this piece. We have our piece B, which is just going to be like that. Then we've got our small square pieces. We're going to do this square. Now lay these out. Now cut them all sort of in the together. We can spin that around because that's all part of that. Doesn't have to be perfect. And this one actually goes like that. I wonder if you can see what I'm doing. I hope you can. Lining that up. And then we have each of our pieces, D pieces, which will go on these mats. Now you can choose to adhere them straight down like that, or you might want to flip one. So we have some lovely pattern on the other side. You could flip that around and alternate it, which would be really pretty. The same with this one. We could flip those around and alternate them. So now you've got those assembled, we're going to stick them all down. All right. I just like to use a bit of scrap paper to stick them on so the paper you're working with doesn't get all sticky. Just add a little bit of your glue on here. So just make sure it's level. We'll go ahead and stick all these down. These look pretty alternating. So this hand pen paper is absolutely gorgeous. So it's available in my store if you want to shop in Australia, or any of these other products are available too, so you can stop by. I'll add the link later in the description. If you're on YouTube watching, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And do share the video because that helps me reach these projects to more people to inspire them. Now what we want to do is our card bases. I'm using the beautiful Misty Moonlight for these. I think they'll coordinate really nicely with it. So now we can just put them all together, lay them out. Oops, we're sliding. So you can choose, the great thing too is you can choose which way you want these to sit. You could choose, make your card this way or that way. Have it facing up this way when you're putting these two together. You might like to offset them for a fun look, or maybe stagger them across that way. So we're just going to assemble all these now, so I'll speed it along to put them together. Before I put this one down, I want to add some twine. So this is the Misty Moonlight Baker's twine, so I'm just going to wrap that around and tie it in a bow. Adding dimensionals on this one just to raise it up, and I'm going to do it this way. This one, we're going to just run that along. And our last one. Make sure you stay to the end to catch the other versions I've done. It's been such fun making them. I might dimension 2 dimensionals on this one too. Now, we've done the 4 of them, but we need some sentiments. So I'm just going to quickly add these sentiments. I've already stamped them out and punched them. So I love to send hello cards or thinking of you. This one's hello there and sending hugs. And you might say, what stamp set's that from? I haven't seen that before. Well, this is the gorgeous new Eden's Garden stamp set. This will be available for you, for customers, in November, from the 2nd of November, I believe. It is beautiful. The distinctive stamps, we've got the gorgeous dies with it, beautiful paper, but I love these sentiments to send out cards. So we're using those today. I have punched them out with the tailored tag punch and the double oval punch. So we'll just add a little sentiment, I think. Add dimensionals. A big and a small one won't hurt. These ones, I'm actually going to add a little bit of twine on them. I didn't put the twine on the other one, but that's okay. Just run some snail on that. Grab our linen thread, and we're just going to do some loop-de-loops. Just add some circles. And spread them out. This really doesn't have to be orderly or tidy. You just want to get some loops on there. You can adjust it as you go. Just have a look at the front of it to see what you think of it. That looks all right. So I'm going to add the dimensionals onto that. I think it might need a little rhinestone up there for a little bit of bling. I'll do that later. We'll add some more loops. Wrap it around. And just spread those loops out. And we'll tuck that end in there. If you want to add some tape on the ends, on the back of it, I think that will help secure them in place. So we've just got that there. And add that in. Dimensionals on it. There you go. So 4 cards from our 6x6 piece of paper. They're so pretty with the Misty Moonlight and Blushing Bride. Do you want to see the other ones I've made? We'll just move those ones out of place. I use the hand pen ones for these ones too. A different print, but this time I used Highland Heather and Mint Macaron. And I did a stamping that was with the Colour and Contour stamp. Just to add something, it just was a bit plain there. Adding a loop of ribbon. Sending some more thank you cards out as well. This time I offset those strips. So you can vary it so many times. It's so great. And we have some Christmas ones. This one is the Painted Christmas Designer Series paper. And I added some of that gold shiny ribbon. Just beautiful. So these ones, I added it across. This time I just went down with the same print. Those pine cones just look great against it, against the white. And our 4 squares. So what do you think? I'd love to hear what you think. Which one's your favorite? I hope you had a go. I'll add the link for the templates so you can go and make your own, but share them with me when you've made them because I love to see. So thanks for visiting today, and I hope it inspires you to pull out some of that paper that you have stored away, and I'll catch you on the next video. Bye.